I am in shock. I am in shock. The Indiana Fever just beat the Aces. The first win for the Indiana Fever against the Las Vegas Aces since I was 22 years old. Aces MVP to refs, Fever is MVP, and Alyssa Smith. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
A dynasty isn't just supposed to lose. It's supposed to be inevitable, a force of nature that crushes all opposition. But on one shocking night, the Las Vegas Aces, the team hailed as an unbeatable juggernaut destined for a three-peat, were not just defeated, they were humiliated, exposed, and utterly dismantled. A 27-point blowout loss to the Indiana Fever, a team that was playing without its generational superstar Caitlin Clark, has sent seismic shockwaves through the WNBA. This wasn't just a loss on the scoreboard. It was the public collapse of a myth. It exposed a team in chaos, a star player putting up empty numbers, and a controversial officiating moment that has fans crying foul. This is the story of how the Fever didn't just win a game, they shattered an empire.
I'm about to say some words I never thought I'd say. Free Asia Wilson. Free her now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. I never thought I'd say this. If I'm Asia, I'm in that locker room, I'm stripping everybody of their A1s. I'm sure I didn't give y'all these free shoes and y'all gonna come out here and y'all can't even give me more than 5 points. None of y'all, where y'all at? Y'all can't help me out. I'm reigning MVP. I'm bringing y'all these champions. I took a pay cut for some of y'all to be here and you can't give me no points. Really, I'm over here, I have 25 points in the third quarter and you can't give me nothing.
God, with more turnovers than points and assists combined. More turnovers than points and assists combined. We got Point God, aka Point Fraud. And remember, this is probably who the WNBA player said was also better than Caitlin Clark. They said I'm pretty confident they said she was better than Caitlin Clark.
The moment that truly ignited the firestorm, the play that will be replayed and debated for weeks, came in the third quarter. It was the kind of subtle but significant event that reveals a deeper truth. Indiana's Lexi Hull, a player known for her relentless hustle and picture-perfect fundamentals, established ideal rebounding position on the league's MVP, Asia Wilson. She executed a flawless box out, went straight up for the ball, and secured the rebound cleanly. It was a textbook play, the kind coaches show their young players on a loop. But then, from behind, Wilson reached completely over Hull's head, making significant contact and grabbing at the ball in a move that any basketball fan would instantly recognize as a blatant over-the-back foul. The whistle blew, and everyone in the arena expected the ball to go to Indiana. Instead, the call was baffling. It wasn't a foul on Wilson, it was a jump ball.
Guys, when did Indiana Fever turn into the best defensive team in the NBA? When? I mean, after that celebration from the Commissioner's Cup, we all thought they were going to come out here a little bit hangover. I mean, their defensive prowess has gone up 100%. In the first half, we have Aces down 22 points. We have only beaten Las Vegas Aces one time in 9 years. For those who do not know that statistic, we've only beaten them once in 9 years. Their defense is impenetrable. We have 28 points in the paint for the second quarter. We are shooting 90% from the field in the second quarter. This is insane.
Team win, folks. Team win. And you notice the team win, like I said, 24 assists on 31 shots. 24 assists on 31 shots. The Indiana Fever hold the Las Vegas Aces to 26% from the field. 26%. This was a Fever defense smothering. The Aces weren't just missing shots. The Fever defense was all over the place. Defensively, we were all over the place. Neither team could hit a three, except for Kelsey Mitchell. Money Mitch can hit the three.
The broadcast team was audibly stunned, struggling to find words to explain how the officials could miss such an obvious violation. On the court, Lexi Hull looked on in disbelief, having done everything right only to be penalized for it. For a moment, it seemed like the game's officiating was determined to tilt the scales in favor of the defending champs, just as they needed a break. This single, questionable call was the flashpoint, a clear symptom of the preferential treatment fans have long claimed Wilson receives, and it laid bare the underlying tension of the entire game, but even a lifeline from the referees couldn't save a dynasty that was already drowning. While that jump ball gave the Aces a momentary reprieve, it was like putting a band-aid on a gaping wound. The game was already a full-blown catastrophe for Las Vegas. The Indiana Fever, without Caitlin Clark to lead them, had spent the entire first half putting on a basketball clinic of historic proportions. They stormed out of the gates with a 6-0 run and never looked back, asserting a physical and mental dominance that left the Aces reeling. By the time the first quarter ended, the Fever were up 21-14, having dominated the paint 16-4. But it was the second quarter where the game turned from a loss into a complete embarrassment. The Fever outscored the Aces 25-10, shooting an unbelievable video game-like 81.8% from the field. While Indiana couldn't miss, the mighty Aces managed a meager 23.5% shooting. By halftime, the score was a stunning 46-24, and the game was, for all intents and purposes, over. The swagger and confidence of the champions had completely evaporated, replaced by the dazed and confused look of a team that had no answers. The fourth quarter was pure salt in the wound, as the Aces managed to score just 7 points. 7. It was a total system failure, a complete mental and physical collapse on a national stage.
CC gang! Fever gang! Down goes the punk-ass Las Vegas Aces, everybody! Kelsey Mitchell, the road runner, out there dropping daggers with a 25-piece Boston Market with the rotisserie chicken, baked beans, corn on the cob, mashed potatoes, every drink available. The tiny assassin, Harry McDonald, out there slicing through the defense, getting buckets. Asia crybaby ass Wilson, hold this L. You ain't nothing but a free throw merchant, goofy. Indiana Fever, that's how y'all ball. I don't know what's going on right now, but y'all got the momentum. We can't wait till Caitlin Clark is back on the floor.
And Asia Whistle Wilson, my God, you see how many free throws that lady have? Oh my God, on the stat sheet, she had basically 30 points, but all the free throws this woman got, man, they tried their best to keep the Aces in the game, man, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. They destroyed the Aces. About freaking time the Fever finally beats the Aces, man. And without Caitlin Clark. You know,
in the middle of this smoldering wreckage stood Aja Wilson, the reigning MVP, whose final stat line tells a fascinating and devastating story of individual effort in a sea of collective failure. She finished the night with 29 points, a number that in a vacuum looks like a star's heroic performance. She got to the free throw line a staggering 13 times, only 4 fewer than the entire Indiana Fever team combined, fueling the Aja Whistle Wilson narrative that she gets a favorable whistle all night long. But here's the brutal, undeniable reality. Aja Wilson scored 29 points, and her team still lost by 27. Her impressive numbers were completely hollow, a statistical mirage in a desert of defeat. While she was getting her points, often from the charity stripe, the rest of her team had completely vanished. After Wilson's 9 for 18 shooting, the rest of the Las Vegas Aces shot a horrific, almost unbelievable 7 for 43 from the field. That's a miserable 16.3%. No other player on the roster scored more than 6 points. The box score read like a list of ghosts. 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 0 points. Wilson was an army of one, but an army of one cannot win a war. It led to the unbelievable sentiment echoing through the basketball world. Free Aja Wilson.
But this was a big win for the Fever because the Aces were the only team that they had not won at least one game to last season, meaning the Aces swept the Fever last season. They actually haven't won a game against the Aces in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark. This team is crazy. They are beating the number 1 team in the league first. And then they go and beat the Aces, who they haven't won to in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark, which is just a testament to how this team is finally developing a rhythm.
I don't know about frustrations boiling over as more to just like making a point. Well, Caitlin says she got me though, so.
One more than that.
She just got a bonus.
And by bonus, she was meaning the Commissioner's Cup bonus, which was $49 or $43,000 per player, because the prize pool was $500,000. And apparently, Steph White just was pissed about the officiating. I don't know if it was Asia Wilson's whistle or what, but
Speaking of missing help, the performance of veteran point guard Chelsea Gray was particularly damning. Often touted by critics and even fellow players as a superior floor general to Caitlin Clark, Gray was a complete non-factor on the court. She looked lost, slow, and overwhelmed by the Fever's defensive pressure. She finished the game with just 2 points on 1 for 3 shooting, 2 assists, and a staggering 5 turnovers. A point guard with more turnovers than points and assists combined is the definition of a liability. While Gray was struggling to make any positive impact, the cameras repeatedly caught an injured Caitlin Clark on the sideline. She was a whirlwind of energy, passionately cheering every bucket, coaching her teammates during timeouts, and providing the vocal leadership of a true franchise player even in street clothes. The contrast was stark and undeniable. One supposed leader was invisible on the court, while the other was making a tangible impact from the bench. With the Aces stars either isolated or ineffective, the Fever's coach, Stephanie White, decided she had seen enough of the lopsided officiating. Deep in the fourth quarter, with the game well in hand, she became visibly aggravated by a series of calls. She finally erupted on the sideline, unleashing a furious tirade on the referees until she was hit with a technical foul. For the Fever, this wasn't a sign of a coach losing control. It was a strategic and powerful rallying cry. It was a clear message to her team and the entire league that they would not be intimidated, they would not be disrespected, and she would fight for them against any perceived injustice. On the bench, Caitlin Clark was seen smiling, absolutely fired up by her coach's passion. That fire was the perfect embodiment of the fight the Fever had shown all night long.
The line a decent amount of times. Asia Wilson, she got a favorable whistle in the second half, but it is what it is. Superstars get the whistle. Unless your name is, 29 points for Asia Wilson, 3 boards, 3 personal fouls, 3 turnovers, 9 for 18 from the field, 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Look at the rest of her team. 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 0 points, 4 points, 2 points, 3 points. Dana Evans, 1 for 10, Dana Evans. Oh my goodness.
Really put it on. Right here, you can see 24 points in the first half for the Aces. I mean, seriously, for the Aces. Points in the paint, 38-20. I mean, it was a dominant win by the Indiana Fever led in the third. Like I said, the referees were starting to get on the side of the Aces. They were trying to wheel the Aces back in. And Lexi stepped in and sort of killed it. Kelsey Mitchell never took her foot off the gas tonight, by the way. This is the best thing I've seen from Stephanie White all season long. Right here, she was aggravated by the refs already, and in the fourth quarter, 5:35 left, Stephanie White lost her shit on the sideline. She lost her shit. And let me just play this right here. Roll it.
Lost that lead late.
And you see her.
See on Caitlin
You
Clark.
see her just losing it up here. Losing it.
Wilson misses on
And
a
she
three,
got
and
teed
Stephanie
up
White gets a
right
technical
there.
on the sideline.
And Caitlin Clark loved it.
This historic win wasn't a fluke, and it wasn't an accident. It was the result of a perfectly executed team strategy that stood in stark contrast to the Aces' one-woman show. While Las Vegas relied on one player, the Fever demonstrated what true unselfish team basketball looks like. Veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell was electric, embracing the role of lead scorer and pouring in 25 points with ruthless efficiency. In the paint, Aliyah Boston was a dominant force, putting up 20 points and 7 rebounds and giving Aja Wilson everything she could handle on both ends of the floor. Natasha Howard, the recent Commissioner's Cup MVP, continued her stellar play, contributing a powerful double-double with 11 points and 10 boards. Their offense was a work of art, a symphony of ball movement that produced 24 assists on 31 made baskets. But the real story, the foundation of this monumental victory, was their defense. They played with a suffocating, connected intensity, holding the high-powered Aces to just 26% shooting for the game and forcing 17 turnovers. They were a 5-player unit moving in perfect harmony, and they made the champions look like a junior varsity squad.
The Aces tried to put a little run together to start the third quarter, And Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall shut that shit down. They shut it down by hitting some big shots. All right. That steal led to the only 2 points that Sophie Cunningham had. But it was big. So right here, let's just start. Let's start Aaliyah Boston right here. That's Sydney Colson to Boston. She going to drive into the lane.
Wilson.
And I've got to tell you, she gave Asia Wilson all she could handle.
This game was more than just an upset. It was a loud and clear statement that will echo throughout the rest of the season. It revealed that the Las Vegas Aces, the unbeatable dynasty, are far more vulnerable and flawed than anyone believed. Their chemistry appears broken, their depth has vanished, and their reliance on one player is a fatal flaw. More importantly, this game announced the definitive arrival of the Indiana Fever as a legitimate title contender. They proved to the world they don't need their superstar to be an elite team. They have grit, they have chemistry, and they have a championship level defense that can shut down anyone in the league. Now, imagine this team when Caitlin Clark returns. The balance of power in the WNBA has been violently shattered. The Aces have been put on notice, and the Fever have shown they are ready to claim their spot at the top. The hierarchy has been broken, and a new era in the WNBA has officially begun.